more tests, and then we should be able to
I hear
get,
you.
Yeah.
You're at a good level. I'm kind of quiet, but like I trust you all to handle the mixing.
So I'll increase you just a little bit.
Okay.
How's your game volume?
Game volume's great.
Okay,
This should
so
be
I'm
good.
not going to touch it.
This should be good for the audio cue.
This mic is going to be off. It's just going to be you two that has
Okay.
on. Okay?
Kaylee, can you talk?
Hello.
She's
Yeah?
quiet.
We're good? Or you
Quiet.
wanna Try saying.
Hello.
Keep going. Hold on. Keep going.
Hello. I am talking into a microphone.
Is that okay?
I hear her. Yeah, that should be.
Yours
fine.
is good too?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to start. We should be good. Whenever you're ready, we'll start.
Yeah, just let me know.
Just, yeah, the
Do you
button is over there.
have chat open over there?
We do have chat
Okay,
open,
I have a
yes.
question for them. Are we live?
We are live, yes?
Okay, chat, I have an important question for you before we start this run of the girl and the robot. Pretty white dress or pretty blue dress?
Pick blue. Pick blue.
The blue
Definitely
one's really pretty is
definitely pick
my
blue.
IMO,
The blue
but
one is better.
they're both pretty good.
Pick blue. If you don't pick blue, I will be upset.
Waiting to hear what they say.
Yeah, we're just waiting. Bile.
Bile.
Bly.
Okay, the majority says blue.
Bly.
We totally.
Lie.
Oh,
Okay, so we'll go blue dress.
I think blue one. Yeah, blue.
Okay,
we
so is
totally-
live split good to go?
We are good.
Okay, so before we get started, just a quick introduction. Hi, I'm protomagicalgirl, all the way from Rochester, New York. This is The Girl and the Robot, made by Flying Carpet Games.
I'm the girl and this is the robot.
That's Witch's Hex.
I was just here.
She was just on stream, and that's Mega Man. Okay, so let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
So this is The Girl and the Robot, released in 2016 on PC, PlayStation 4, and Wii U. This is the PC version, and this category is called Current Patch, which is technically sort of a lie, because it's actually patches 1.005 and 1.006, which are essentially the same for speedrunning purposes. I'm playing this on the Steam version, so this is the girl. Look at that pretty blue dress. You made a good decision today, Twitch chat.
Hey, are you moving the right analog stick and holding X?
Oh yeah, totally. So, we're playing the PC version of this game. That's important because the mouse is way better than a controller. But let's talk about what we've got going on here. So this is the girl and the robot. Naturally, then, there's a girl and a robot. We don't have a robot yet. This is the girl. The girl can run fast, jump, and crawl through tight spaces. That's kind of her contribution to this game. The robot, who we see just up ahead, can do combat, push heavy objects, carry the girl, and has a really cool dash that we can use to cancel movement and attacks and stuff like that. So now we're going to go in here. We're going to grab the pendant that allows the girl to control the robot. Oh no, robot's falling from the sky. Ah! And we get more cutscene skips. Mashing. So this is the robot's dash. Can use it to cancel animations. What I did there was I did the sword swing attack, then I tapped forward, and then I tapped spacebar to dash. You have to kind of do it sequentially, and then you get that really clean just dash through the door. We're going to use dash canceling again here to do combat really, really fast. And then enter this cutscene. So there's also an important button on the controller, and it's Q, and Q is the friendship button, which allows us to do this. Aww, it's cute. I love this game. So as we're heading up here, I already talked about current patch. What else do I need to talk about? There's a lot to say with this game. But yeah, this version of the game is for, or current patch is 1.005, 1.006. So what changed? The enemy AI is better, and we can't manipulate it as easily. There's a couple changes to the placements of checkpoints and objects in the game that make it harder, but not impossible to sequence break. And there's a couple other changes that I'll point out as we go through the runs. We're going to do our first trick here. This is a death warp. Because of this game's save system, you have to hit every save in the game in order or else you cannot progress. However, every save is just a save point, and there's a girl spawn point and a robot spawn point with that save point. So that save point at the top of the elevator has the robot at the top, which means we can just do that little death warp and bring the robot up, which is significantly faster than sending that really long, slow elevator up and down. So now we have our first kind of split action segment of the game. Since this is a two-body puzzle game, naturally there's a lot of stuff where the girl and the robot are going to be splitting up. So we're going to take the robot up and around here. This is the most important enemy in the game. Doing a really good job. You're doing excellent, buddy. I'm super proud of you. And then we're going to take the robot up here and stand on a switch, and then bring the girl up and around. So that switch is going to open that door over there, and we'll get to that in a second.
So why don't you take damage from that enemy? Is it because you're in the animation?
Yeah, I would assume it's just you're in the pushing the block animation, so damage doesn't work. It's kind of convenient, because then we don't have to deal with the enemy. Oh, I didn't actually talk about why I'm jumping everywhere. It's faster. That's all you really need to know. So what you're intended to do right now is take the robot in here and do a bunch of combat. Instead, we're going to hit that save point, and then do that. And just jump right around there. You're supposed to come around here with the robot and hit this switch in order to bring the girl in and advance the game. Also, I'm really glad I got that jump first try, because that jump has been the bane of my existence for, like, weeks. It's the hardest jump in the run for me, despite the fact that it's one of the easier skips. So we have another switch. What's interesting to know with switches is that your positioning is very important. You can hit the interact button within a pretty wide range of the switch, but then the character you're interacting with will always walk to an extremely specific spot and angle. So you want to try and get as close to that as possible, because the walk they do to get to the spot once you've pressed the interact button is really slow. So coming up here, we have another little split segment where the girl is going to reveal the solution to a puzzle, and then the robot's going to execute it. What's important to know here is that I'm actually going to be using an audio cue. There's 3 patterns we can get here, and I have memorized all of them, and which pattern we get will be decided based on whether this thing spins 1 through 3 times. So, listening. And that was pattern 1, so that's the fastest pattern. So, hooray. Fastest and easiest. All we have to do is go here. Cool. So now what the game wants us to do is push that block onto that switch and then take the girl and the robot together this way. At the end of this long corridor, there's a set of paired switches. Paired switches are a big thing in this game because it's like, okay, you need to get both characters over here to progress. However, the switches actually have inertia, so when they're close enough like this, we can just run across them with the girl, and that's good enough. So this is segment 2 of the run. Now we're in town. And we're going to start with a little bit of friendship here. And if I get the right luck, we're going to do a really, really cool strat coming up. Otherwise, we'll do normal cool strats. The really, really cool strat only saves time if you execute really well, but I do hope I get to show it off for marathon's sake. So we're going to use another dash cancel here. Again, do the action, then tap a direction, and then tap dash. Okay, so that guard is in front of the gate, which means we did get the luck we need to do the really cool strat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here with the girl and open this gate, and then I'm going to go back down to the girl, have the robot pick the girl up, and then damage boost with the robot off of that enemy. The robot has 3 pieces of armor that we need to knock off, is essentially what's going to happen here. So we're going to run into this corner. That's 1 piece of armor. We're getting good luck here. Please take off. That's 2 pieces of armor. Perfect. And now we're really, really, really fast. I love this. This is like comically fast. When this trick was first suggested by one of the runners of this game, who goes by the name Dalador, I didn't believe that it would be faster with how long it takes to damage boost. However, the first time I actually tried it, once I saw how, like, comically fast the robot ran, I knew it would be faster. Just did a small skip there. By jumping around there with the girl, we skip having to send the robot into that building to do combat against 2 other robots. Now we're going to push the set of blocks and bring the girl around here. This is the artisan's house. Hashtag lore. Oh no, a big scary robot. Run! So we have to open this panel with the girl, then fire off a quick arrow and dash cancel. The nice thing with combat in this game is you can backstab any enemy, which is real useful for when enemies are actually going directly for the girl, as they will if the girl is in their range of sight. And so we just finished the second segment of the game, which is Town 1. Now we're going to head down into what we call the laser basement, because it's a basement full of lasers. Any thoughts on that name, Hex?
It's a basement full of lasers.
There you have it. Unfortunately, have to take fall stun there. If you don't do the damage boost, you can actually avoid the fall stun, but without the leg armor, you take fall damage really easily, so there's no way out of it. So the whole gimmick of this laser basement is these laser panels, and you have to kind of pass the laser back and forth through each of them, which means running, alternating with the girl and the robot. Now we're going to open this and head on through. Then we're going to bring the robot through and have our second little bit of randomness in this run. just like with the switch puzzle, there's going to be 3 guard spawns here. Okay, we got this one, which I think is the fastest one, if I remember correctly. Oh, you shielded. Please hit me. Thank you. Yeah, that's the fastest spawn, so that's pretty good. You don't get that one often. And so now we just kind of pass the laser through this little gate. Oh, please, game. There we go. Making liberal use of dash canceling anytime we do literally anything with the robot. Now we have a little trick here that I'm not amazing at, that we like to call gate hack. Just like that. That was really smooth. Basically what I did there was just dash cancel out of there right after hitting that switch, which saved us from having to do 1 additional arrow shot. So we've just done all of this really long segment of the game completely as intended. As I said, you have to hit every checkpoint in the game in order. Some of the checkpoints aren't actually position-based. This one is specifically event-based. You have to bring the robot over there to advance the game. That being said, now that we have done that, the next couple triggers are positional, which means we can just go do silly stuff instead of what the game intends us to do. This trick here that I'm doing called Town Skip is going to save a fair amount of time. We're going to go up here and around. This is instead of sending the robot on basically like a second lap through that laser basement to hit another switch. So if you've watched Wind Waker HD, you may have heard of the zombie hover. This is the true zombie hover because we rise up through a graveyard. Then we hit the save point. That's where the game would have taken us next. And tap on the altar here. So that was the first kind of half of what I call Town Skip. This is basically the largest skip in the game. Not in terms of time saved, but just in terms of all the things you have to do. So we're going to run along here, jump off of these things, land on the tree, head over here. These little roofs break your fall, which is really good. I don't know if I've mentioned that the girl can take fall damage. Naturally, we don't want that because that means you'll die. Then we're supposed to hit that bell tower over there and kind of walk through the next area slowly, but we're going to do this instead. Just jump along these roofs, do little wiggles to get up, and then, so in here, this is essentially, this is the arena for the first boss in the game. First, we have to do some stuff here, and then there may or may not be a boss fight, no promises. Unfortunately, most of this section is basically unskippable because, as I said, you have to hit every checkpoint in the game in order. If you don't want to do that, there's a category on the leaderboard called Glitched Ending, which the idea is essentially make it as far as you can in the game, ignoring the restrictions of the checkpoint system. You can actually make it to one of the last checkpoints in the run. There's a pair of elevators at the end of the game that won't rise if you're not on par with the checkpoint system. That's as far as you can make it. So we're going to fire this cannon at this gong, which is going to open a door to our right. Then we're going to rotate the cannon again in order to open a gate farther out. We're going to switch again. Once again, just dash canceling all over the place with the robot. There we go. And hitting that. Incoming extremely loud noise as a warning. This noise isn't balanced super amazingly. Here it is.
Ow, my ears.
Yeah, it's kind of loud. It's okay. So, there's another set of paired switches over here. However, the save point is not actually tied to them, but essentially beyond this gate, and the paired switches are meant to open the gate, but who needs gates when we can just jump along buildings? I did mention that this is a game about a tiny child parkour ninja assassin and a robot who's actually a deity. Yeah? Because that's basically the plot of this game. So you can walk up any sloped surface in this game, no matter how steep, with the girl by sprinting and jumping. So that's just what we're going to do. Like I said, there's a mini-boss here. However, we don't want to do it. It's slow. It's extremely slow. It takes several minutes. So instead, we're just going to jump into the loading zone for the next area. If I heck this up, I soft lock, which is fun. We're fine. So we just skipped the mini-boss and saved like 6 minutes. So the next section of the game, this whole long area, this is maze. It is called such because it is a maze. Pretty simple, I think. So naturally, a maze in a game like this, there's going to be a lot of skips. Every checkpoint in this maze, basically, is a positional checkpoint, which means you just need to get a character to a spot. So naturally, we can just jump over all of the things. They gave a lot of the subtle geometry collisions like that, which is just amazing for the speed run. So you hit that checkpoint. We might get a robot spawn here. We'll see. Oh, we did. Oh, we got a big one. That's fine. The big ones are too slow, and we can just jump right around them. This jump is impossible, and I'm terrible at it. Something worth noting, because it will come up later, if you ever break the intended path of the game while a robot is following you, they just don't know what to do anymore and won't be able to chase you. Hit that checkpoint. We did everything right, so this elevator comes up. Now we're going to head down and hit the next checkpoint, which is supposed to be after this really long puzzle that essentially switches the position of the girl and the robot in the maze, and you have to kind of go back and do the whole thing again, but differently. Now we need to get out of this box. This setup was found by Dalador. I'm bad at it, despite the fact that it is extremely easy. Wow. Come on.
Shoutouts to those collisions.
Yeah. And now we're up here, and we can just go across. So coming up is going to be a cutscene skip. There's a cutscene that's going to show a bunch of doors opening and a bunch of robots coming out to chase the girl. However, we can go over the top of this cutscene entirely because it's long and slow by jumping up here. Oh, no, the game, it seems like it tries to push you off of this thing, but it doesn't try hard enough. So we can just go right over. Next checkpoint is at the bottom of this elevator. Now saving. So, in my, I guess, submission text for this run, that I think only Russell saw, I promised a conga line of exploding robots. Don't you worry. Here's your conga line of exploding robots right around this corner. Look at them go. Doop. And so now we're going to hit the next positional trigger, which is only a horizontal position, not a vertical one, so we just warp all the way up to the top here, jump around this gate instead of bring the robot over. Now I am going to walk along this edge here. The enemy AI's pathing is very strictly limited to the platform. So, since we're standing off the edge where they can't path to us, they just stood there until we hit solid ground. That's a really useful technique in this game that we're going to be taking advantage of more later in the run. Doop. Ah! Die, please. So now the final thing in Maze, we have kind of this floor tile puzzle, Zelda style, where you have to press every tile without repeating. The hard part of this is the robots part, so you have to go like this. Easy every time. And then the girls part is pretty easy, which is why I do it second. So the added gimmick on, like, you know, this traditional Zelda puzzle is that you have to split the tiles half and half between the two characters. It's a pretty easy route, though. If you mess it up, all those doors open and you can't progress, and you basically just have to die. One more little dash cancel, and that's the end of Maze. So now we've made our way back into the town from earlier in the game. From the other side, this is Town 2, as I like to call it. Have another skip here, because when we hit this gate opens, and oh my gosh, there's robots everywhere. How are we going to get past these? We'd have to spend like 5 minutes fighting all of them with the robot. However, using the robot literally ever is slow. So, no thanks. Instead, we're going to go here and jump off this tree up here. And like I mentioned earlier, break the pathing, break the enemies. So you just head out of bounds through there, and none of these enemies can touch you at all. Watch their eyes. They still follow the characters, but they can't do anything. It's a little bit creepy. So now we're in the final area of the game. This is Castle. A little skip there. Head around here. What we're going to do coming up in a second is a death warp. This death warp, all it's going to serve to do is bring the robot closer to where we want the robot to be. So all we got to do is jump up here, hit this save point, jump up on this ledge, and into the water. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to open this timer gate with the robot. I'm going to switch characters right now. That switching animation masked the animation that plays when you open those doors. And it doesn't let the other one play either. And now we walk on water. There is no setup for this. There's no special trick. You just do it. This is a current patch exclusive glitch. Because in version 1.05 of the game, they added a new water texture, and it's a lot better than the old one. It's also slightly higher than the kill plane, in fact, so you can just walk on it. So this is the end of the game. All we have to do now is just hit this final set of 2 switches and fight the final boss. Cool. So this is the final boss. The way you're intended to do this is there's a safe platform for the girl in every phase. Instead of going to the designated safe platforms, We're just going to manipulate the AI some more by putting the girl off the edge there, and then do the entire fight with just the robot. Phases 1 and 2 are real easy. That noise is really satisfying. And then phase 3 is going to be really hard, and if we nail it, we'll have a really good time here. If not, yikes. Yeah, we're dead. Those robots in phase 3 are the worst. They just ruin your runs. You can try and walk off the edge a little bit to slow them down, but there's not a lot you can do if they decide to get in your way. And time is going to be coming up at the end of this boss fight. Hope for good luck this time. Yeah, this is better. Okay. Time. 18:59. That is a PB by a long shot. Holy moly.
That was an amazing run.
Sub 19 in a marathon. That's the best marathon run ever done of this game, out of 2. So, while the credit sequence is playing here, I want to give shout-outs. I already mentioned Dalador, but the real pioneer of speedrunning this game is a guy by the name of Perkis M. That's P-U-R-K-I-S-M. Perkis basically built this speedrun from the ground up, and it only really started changing in when I picked it up recently. He has the world record. He's really talented. He ran this at ESA Winter, and his run was super helpful for me learning this game. It's really fun, and this is the ending. So please post your GG Bible thumps in chat. Also, I'd like to thank Flying Carpets Games, who made this amazing video game, and also has been super receptive of the speedrunning community. When we've posted, like, speedrunning videos and, like, glitches and stuff online, they've been super supportive of everything. They're not getting on us using glitches or anything. They've just been really nice to us. If you enjoyed this run, I encourage you to try it out. Check out Perkis' marathon run or his world record for more information on the run. I'm also going to be running at this at Games Done Quick Express coming up. Also, tell Flying Carpets Games you want an Act 2. Thanks for the commentary, Kaylee. I know you said like 4 words, because I said a lot of words, but I appreciate it.
This makes 7.
Good job. We're gonna set up for Cuphead. You should make it there, right?
Can I even exit out?
Matt.
Yeah.
I need your first touch.
Beep. Okay. Stay tuned next for Cuphead. Yeah. If I hadn't died to the final boss, oh my god, that would have been like a perfect.
I'd do anything for you, dear. Anything for you, mean everything to me. I know that I'd risk